15 common foods that destroy your brain and no one tells you. Did you know that some of the foods you consume daily might be destroying your brain? Could the sugar you add to your coffee be compromising your memory? And those irresistible fried foods you love, are they slowly sabotaging your ability to think? More alarmingly, even artificial sweeteners, which you believe to be a healthier choice, might be manipulating your cognitive functions. How are these silent villains impacting your brain without you noticing? Throughout this video, we will explore how your dietary choices may be shortening the life of your brain. Stay tuned until the end to discover alternatives that can protect your mental health and ensure a healthier and clearer life. After all, your diet could be the key to preserving or destroying your brain. Important. We have listed all the references used to create this video in the description for you to access whenever you want. Let's begin. Is it possible to reverse a damaged brain? Yes, it is possible to reverse or at least improve some brain damage depending on the cause and severity. Neuroplasticity, which is the brain's ability to reorganize its neuronal connections, plays a crucial role in this process. Changes in diet, physical exercise, and practices like meditation or mindfulness can stimulate neuroplasticity and aid in recovery. For instance, consuming foods rich in antioxidants, omega-3 fatty acids, and other essential nutrients can support brain health. Additionally, regular physical exercise increases blood flow to the brain and promotes the growth of new nerve cells. In cases of damage caused by harmful habits like excessive alcohol or sugar consumption, stopping these habits can lead to partial recovery of brain functions. Cognitive therapies can also be used to help the brain create new connections and compensate for lost functions. 15 common foods that destroy your brain and no one tells you. 1. The hidden truth about refined sugar, the silent villain of your brain. Refined sugar is widely consumed in various foods, but many are unaware of its devastating impact on the brain. When consumed in excess, refined sugar causes spikes and sharp drops in blood glucose levels, negatively affecting brain function. These constant highs and lows can result in concentration difficulties, irritability, and even mood swings. Additionally, chronic consumption of refined sugar is associated with chronic inflammation in the body, including the brain, which can impair communication between neurons and accelerate the brain's aging process. Studies show that diets high in refined sugar increase the risk of developing neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's and dementia. This is because excessive sugar can promote the formation of beta-amyloid plaques in the brain, a common feature in Alzheimer's patients. Moreover, high sugar consumption interferes with the production of BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, a protein essential for forming new memories and learning. To protect your brain, it is crucial to reduce the consumption of foods high in refined sugar, such as sweets, sodas, and industrially baked goods. Replacing these foods with healthier options, such as fresh fruits, can provide the necessary sweetness without harmful side effects. Adopting a balanced diet rich in nutrients and low in refined sugars helps preserve your brain health in the long term, promoting better cognitive function and a lower risk of neurodegenerative diseases. 2. Trans fats, the invisible enemy sabotaging your brain. Trans fats, found in many processed foods such as margarines, cookies, snacks, and fast foods, are extremely harmful to the brain. These fats are created by an industrial process that adds hydrogen to vegetable oils, increasing the shelf life of foods and improving texture. However, this industrial benefit comes at a high cost to health, especially brain health. Consumption of trans fats is directly associated with an elevated risk of developing neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's. These fats promote chronic inflammation in the body and brain, affecting communication between neurons. They also contribute to the accumulation of amyloid plaques in the brain, characteristic of Alzheimer's. Trans fats also interfere with the production of neurotransmitters like serotonin, essential for mood and mental well-being, increasing the risk of disorders such as depression and anxiety. To protect your brain's health, avoid foods that contain trans fats by carefully reading product labels. Opt for foods rich in healthy fats such as nuts, seeds, avocados, and olive oil, which not only are safe for the brain, but also offer nutritional benefits that improve cognitive function and protect against neurodegenerative diseases. 3. Monosodium glutamate, MSG, the flavor enhancer that destroys your brain cells. Monosodium Glutamate, or MSG, is a food additive widely used to enhance the flavor of processed foods such as canned soups, ready-made sauces, and fast foods. While effective at intensifying flavor, MSG can have significant negative effects on brain health. It acts as an excitotoxin, overstimulating nerve cells to the point of causing damage or cell death. When consumed in large quantities, MSG can lead to the degeneration of brain cells and cause neurological problems such as headaches, migraines, and, in more severe cases, cognitive impairment. Excessive consumption of MSG is associated with an increased risk of disorders such as anxiety and depression because it interferes with the production and balance of neurotransmitters essential for mood, such as serotonin. Some people are particularly sensitive to MSG and may experience symptoms like dizziness and weakness, a condition known as Chinese restaurant syndrome. To protect your brain from the harmful effects of MSG, avoid highly processed foods and opt for meals prepared with fresh, natural ingredients. Replace MSG with natural herbs and spices when cooking to enhance food flavor without compromising brain health. 4. Aspartame, the fatal sweetness. Compromising your mental health. Aspartame is an artificial sweetener widely used in diet sodas, sugar-free gums, light desserts, and many other products that promise to be healthier options. However, despite being an alternative to sugar, aspartame can have adverse effects on brain health. When metabolized, it breaks down into substances like methanol, which can be converted into formaldehyde and formic acid, both toxic to the nervous system. This toxicity can cause various neurological problems such as headaches, dizziness, mood changes, and memory impairment. Studies suggest that prolonged consumption of aspartame may increase the risk of developing neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's and multiple sclerosis. Additionally, aspartame can interfere with the balance of neurotransmitters in the brain, including serotonin and dopamine, which are essential for mood and cognitive function. To protect your brain, it is important to reduce or eliminate the consumption of foods and beverages containing this artificial sweetener. Opting for natural alternatives like stevia or honey can help satisfy your sweet cravings without exposing your brain to the risks associated with aspartame. Maintaining a diet rich in natural, minimally processed foods is one of the best ways to ensure you are nourishing your brain with what it needs to function well and stay healthy in the long term. 5. The unknown danger of alcohol. How it is silently damaging your brain. Alcohol is a substance widely consumed worldwide, present in drinks such as beer, wine, and spirits. While moderate alcohol consumption is socially accepted and even promoted in some cultures, excessive consumption can have serious consequences for brain health. Alcohol acts as a central nervous system depressant, slowing down communication between nerve cells and temporarily impairing brain function. The effects of alcohol on the brain can result in memory loss, difficulty concentrating, and impaired judgment. In the long term, chronic alcohol consumption can lead to permanent brain damage, including brain shrinkage and loss of cognitive abilities. Additionally, excessive alcohol consumption is strongly associated with the development of mental disorders such as depression and anxiety. This occurs because alcohol can interfere with levels of neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, essential for mood regulation. Another significant risk of alcohol consumption is the development of Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome, a neurodegenerative condition caused by vitamin B1 thiamine deficiency, resulting in severe brain damage, such as memory and coordination problems. To protect your brain health, it is essential to limit alcohol consumption. If you choose to drink, do so in moderation. Small lifestyle changes, such as reducing alcohol consumption and adopting a healthy diet, can have a positive impact on brain health in the long term. 6. Ultra-processed foods. What the industry doesn't want you to know about brain decline. Ultra-processed foods are those that undergo multiple stages of industrial processing and contain a long list of ingredients, including preservatives, colorings, emulsifiers, and other chemical additives. These foods, such as snacks, frozen meals, cookies, and fast foods, are convenient but pose considerable risks to brain health. Frequent consumption of ultra-processed foods is associated with chronic inflammation in the body, including the brain. This inflammation can damage nerve cells and interfere with communication between neurons, leading to cognitive problems such as memory decline and difficulty concentrating. Additionally, diets high in ultra-processed foods have been linked to an increased risk of developing neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. These foods are often rich in saturated fats, sugars, and sodium, which can harm cardiovascular health, which in turn affects blood flow to the brain. Reduced cerebral blood flow can result in brain tissue damage and impaired cognitive functions. Moreover, ultra-processed foods can negatively influence neurotransmitter balance, increasing the risk of depression and other mental disorders. Studies show that a diet based on fresh and minimally processed foods, such as fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, is beneficial for brain health and can protect against cognitive decline. To keep your brain healthy, it is essential to reduce the consumption of ultra-processed foods and opt for a nutrient-rich diet that supports mental health and overall well-being. 7. Salt, the deadly spice that may be shortening your brain's lifespan. Salt is an essential seasoning in cooking and plays an important role in regulating fluid balance in the body. However, excessive salt consumption, especially the kind found in processed foods like canned soups, deli meats, and salty snacks, can have harmful effects on the brain. High salt consumption is directly related to hypertension, or high blood pressure, a condition that can damage the brain's blood vessels, reducing blood flow and consequently the amount of oxygen and nutrients available to brain cells. This can lead to cognitive problems such as difficulty concentrating, memory loss, and, in the long term, increase the risk of developing dementia. Additionally, recent studies suggest that diets high in sodium may cause structural changes in brain blood vessels, contributing to accelerated cognitive decline. Excessive salt is also associated with brain inflammation, which can damage neurons and impair brain function. Another concerning aspect of excessive salt consumption is the possible link to reduced production of nitric oxide, a substance that helps relax blood vessels and promote healthy blood flow. Reduced nitric oxide levels can result in blood vessel constriction, further worsening cerebral circulation. To protect your brain, it is crucial to monitor and limit salt intake, replacing it with natural seasonings such as herbs and spices that enhance food flavor without the negative effects associated with excessive sodium. 8. Refined carbohydrates, the fuel that may be burning your mental functions. Refined carbohydrates, such as those found in white bread, pasta, cakes, and other products made with refined flour, are a common part of the modern diet. Although they are a quick source of energy, excessive consumption of these carbohydrates can have negative impacts on brain health. When we consume refined carbohydrates, they are quickly converted into sugar in the blood, which can lead to spikes and drops in glucose levels. These constant highs and lows can impair brain function, resulting in concentration difficulties, mental fatigue, and mood swings. Prolonged exposure to these glucose spikes can also increase the risk of insulin resistance, a condition that affects the brain's ability to use glucose effectively, leading to cognitive problems and even the development of diseases such as Alzheimer's. Additionally, diets high in refined carbohydrates have been associated with an increase in the production of beta-amyloid proteins, known to form plaques in the brains of people with Alzheimer's. The inflammation caused by these foods can also damage the brain's blood vessels, compromising the flow of blood and essential nutrients. To protect your brain, it is advisable to reduce the consumption of refined carbohydrates and opt for complex carbohydrates, such as those found in whole grains, legumes, and vegetables. These foods release energy more slowly and steadily, providing essential nutrients that support brain health and help prevent cognitive decline. 9. Mercury-high fish, the healthy diet. That may be poisoning your brain. While consuming fish is generally considered healthy due to its high omega-3 content, it's important to be aware of the risks associated with fish high in mercury, such as tuna, mackerel, shark, and swordfish. Mercury is a heavy metal that can be toxic to the brain, especially when accumulated in large quantities. Mercury negatively affects the central nervous system, potentially damaging neurons and interfering with communication between brain cells. This can result in various cognitive problems such as memory loss, difficulty concentrating, and mood changes. In severe cases, chronic mercury exposure can lead to permanent neurological damage. Pregnant women and young children are particularly vulnerable to the neurotoxic effects of mercury, as it can interfere with the development of the fetus and child's brain, resulting in delays in cognitive and motor development. In addition to direct brain damage, mercury can also trigger oxidative stress, a process that damages cells and is associated with premature aging and the development of neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. To minimize risks to brain health, it is advisable to limit the consumption of mercury-high fish and opt for safer alternatives, such as salmon, sardines, and trout, which are rich in omega-3 and have low mercury levels. These fish provide the benefits of fatty acids without the risks associated with mercury exposure. 10. Fried foods, the crunchy enemy. Stealing your ability to think. Fried foods and fried snacks, such as French fries, fried chicken, and industrial snacks, are popular in many diets worldwide. However, frequent consumption of these foods can be extremely harmful to brain health. Frying in oils rich in trans and saturated fats can lead to chronic inflammation in the body, including the brain, resulting in neuronal damage and cognitive decline. These unhealthy fats can compromise the integrity of the blood-brain barrier, a membrane that protects the brain from harmful substances. When this barrier is damaged, the brain becomes more vulnerable to toxins and inflammatory agents, increasing the risk of neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Additionally, fried foods often contain acrylamide, a chemical that forms when starchy foods are fried at high temperatures. Acrylamide has been associated with nervous system damage and may contribute to the development of long-term cognitive and neurological problems. Regular consumption of fried foods can also lead to obesity and metabolic syndrome, conditions strongly linked to an elevated risk of cognitive decline and dementia. Excess fat can interfere with brain metabolism and impair the function of essential neurotransmitters, impacting memory and mood. To protect your brain, it is important to limit the consumption of fried foods and opt for healthier cooking methods such as baking, grilling, or steaming, which preserve food nutrients without the harmful effects of frying. 11. Processed meats, the guilty pleasure corroding your cognitive functions. Processed meats, such as bacon, sausages, ham, and salami, are popular in many diets, but their frequent consumption can have significant negative effects on brain health. These meats typically contain high levels of preservatives, nitrites, nitrates, and salt, which can impair brain function and increase the risk of neurological diseases. Nitrites and nitrates, used to preserve and color processed meats, can convert into nitrosamines in the body, compounds linked to an increased risk of cancer and brain damage. Studies indicate that regular consumption of processed meats can contribute to oxidative stress and brain inflammation, impairing communication between neurons and leading to cognitive decline. Moreover, processed meats are rich in saturated and trans fats, which can clog arteries and reduce blood flow to the brain. Reduced blood flow can result in less oxygen and nutrition for brain cells, increasing the risk of Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia. Excessive consumption of these meats is also associated with metabolic disorders, such as insulin resistance and obesity, known risk factors for brain problems. These disorders can lead to changes in hippocampus function, a brain area crucial for memory and learning. To protect brain health, it is advisable to reduce or eliminate processed meat consumption and opt for healthier protein sources, such as lean meats, fish, and plant-based proteins, which provide essential nutrients without the risks associated with processed meats. 12. Soft drinks and sugary beverages, the liquid poison. Deteriorating your brain. Soft drinks and other sugary beverages, such as industrialized juices and sweetened teas, are common daily choices for many people, but frequent consumption can be extremely harmful to the brain. These drinks are loaded with refined sugar, which can cause rapid spikes in blood glucose, followed by sharp drops, negatively affecting brain function. Regular consumption of large amounts of sugar has been associated with insulin resistance, a condition that prevents cells from absorbing the glucose needed for energy production. When the brain doesn't receive enough glucose, its functions begin to deteriorate, resulting in memory problems, concentration difficulties, and even mood swings. Additionally, studies suggest that high consumption of sugary beverages can increase the risk of developing neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's. Another problem is that sugary beverages contribute to chronic inflammation in the body, including the brain, which can accelerate cognitive decline. Excess sugar is also linked to increased production of beta-amyloid proteins, which can form plaques in the brain and are associated with Alzheimer's development. To protect your brain, it is crucial to reduce the consumption of soft drinks and other sugary beverages. Opting for water, unsweetened teas, or natural juices without added sugar can be an effective way to keep the brain healthy and prevent long-term cognitive problems. 13. Ice cream and frozen desserts. The sweet treat that may be freezing your mind. Ice cream and frozen desserts are tasty indulgences that many of us love, especially on hot days. However, these sweet treats can significantly negatively impact brain health due to their high sugar and saturated fat content. Ice cream and frozen desserts typically contain large amounts of refined sugar, which can cause rapid spikes in blood glucose, followed by sharp drops. This cycle of glucose spikes and drops can cause concentration difficulties, irritability, and mental fatigue. Chronic sugar consumption is also associated with brain inflammation, which can impair cognitive function and increase the risk of neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's. Moreover, these desserts are often high in saturated fats, which can contribute to plaque buildup in the arteries, reducing blood flow to the brain. Reduced cerebral blood flow can lead to brain tissue damage and cognitive decline over time. Frequent consumption of ice cream and frozen desserts can also negatively influence neurotransmitter balance, such as serotonin, which is crucial for mood regulation. This can result in mood swings and an increased risk of depression and anxiety. To protect brain health, it is advisable to consume ice cream and frozen desserts in moderation, and opt for healthier alternatives such as homemade ice cream made with fresh fruits and natural yogurt, which offer flavor and satisfaction without the harmful effects associated with sugar and saturated fats. 14. Artificial sweeteners, the invisible danger. Manipulating your brain. Artificial sweeteners such as sucralose, aspartame, and saccharin are widely used in diet or light foods and beverages as an alternative to sugar. Although marketed as a healthier option, frequent consumption of these sweeteners can have harmful effects on the brain. Studies suggest that aspartame, in particular, can interfere with neurotransmitter function, such as serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine, essential for mood and cognition regulation. Regular intake of artificial sweeteners has been associated with symptoms such as headaches, migraines, mood swings, and, in more severe cases, memory impairment and learning difficulties. Moreover, research indicates that artificial sweetener consumption can alter gut microbiota, which can have indirect consequences for brain health. The gut and brain are closely connected through the gut-brain axis, and an imbalance in gut flora can negatively affect mood, increase the risk of anxiety and depression, and even contribute to cognitive decline. Another concerning point is that, despite being calorie-free, artificial sweeteners can trick the brain and body, leading to increased appetite and, consequently, weight gain. Excess weight is a risk factor for several conditions that affect the brain, including insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, and cardiovascular diseases. To protect your brain, it is advisable to limit the consumption of foods and beverages containing artificial sweeteners and opt for natural alternatives such as stevia, honey, or fruits, which not only satisfy the palate, but also offer nutritional benefits without the risks associated with artificial sweeteners. 15. Nitrates and nitrates, the preservatives silently annihilating your brain. Nitrites and nitrates are chemical compounds widely used in the preservation of processed meats such as bacon, ham, sausages, and salami. Although these compounds help extend the shelf life of foods and maintain their color and flavor, they can have significant negative effects on brain health. When ingested, nitrites and nitrates can convert into nitrosamines, compounds linked to an increased risk of cancer, including brain cancer. Moreover, these substances can contribute to oxidative stress and brain inflammation, processes that can damage nerve cells and lead to cognitive decline over time. Studies indicate that regular consumption of processed meats may be related to a higher risk of developing neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. This is because chronic inflammation and oxidative stress caused by nitrites and nitrates can compromise brain cell integrity and impair communication between neurons. To protect your brain, it is important to limit the consumption of processed meats and opt for healthier protein sources, such as fresh meats, fish, and legumes, which do not contain these harmful compounds. Additionally, adopting a diet rich in antioxidants found in fresh fruits and vegetables can help neutralize the negative effects of nitrites and nitrates, protecting the brain and promoting long-term cognitive health. Now that you know the 15 foods that can destroy your brain, it's time to make more conscious decisions about your diet. Avoiding these villains and replacing them with more nutritious options can make a big difference in your mental well-being and long-term quality of life. Remember, small dietary changes can have a significant impact on preserving your memory, concentration, and mental clarity. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I wish you great health, wealth, and happiness. See you in the next video.